Specifically in the implementation of bans or restrictions on social media, how can we convince youth of the threat of social media when students are forced to fear gun-related violence when going into learning environments? Specifically, when we're talking about the collaboration and partnership of youth in this process, how can we reconcile that truth of the threat of social media with these other variables?
I'll take that one. So I think that we know now that guns are the #1 killer of children in the United States. I was happy that the Surgeon General finally recognized that with an advisory. So we're seeing some attention on that. But just earlier today, from a policy perspective, Congress is acting to try and restrict research on firearms in the United States again. And also at the same time, we're going to be working to ban social media. So these are the kind of policy initiatives that are coming at young people. I think it's confusing, to try and make sense of kind of how we're directing these policy initiatives from a young person's perspective. I get a lot of emails from young people now, which is fantastic. And some of them tell me stories, John, of their principals walking around with your book. And banning and taking away phones. And
I'm happy about that.
Yeah, and they're bullshit detectors. So they're contacting me and asking, excuse the language. Bethany warned you that I am Canadian, so I'll just say it. And so they're contacting me and saying, this doesn't smell right. And I'm sending them various papers, and I'm sure that ChatGPT, my response is now being used to write many essays about these phone bans. But I think educators are in a very tough position right now in terms of getting pressure for how safe are our schools for kids to actually be in them, children not being in our schools with chronic absenteeism, right? And this message that the bans are going to solve all of these problems, like learning loss, mental health problems, right? And I think that that's a slippery slope here that we're on.